Hi everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Antlers and Anglers. It's my new fishing and hunting channel that I'm making on YouTube. I'm hoping to get a few followers. I live in eastern Tennessee, just south of Knoxville. I've grown up my whole life taking advantage of the hunting and fishing opportunities here in eastern Tennessee. I'm creating a channel to share my experiences with the public and hopefully to try to teach some things to you as well as learn some things from you at the same time. I don't have a big boat. I don't have a lot of expensive hunting equipment, but I feel like I do my fair share of killing and catching. So we like to give a few deer around here dirt naps during deer season, and we also like to catch some fish, eat them, and we also like to just catch some fish because they're big. So today we're going to go on our first fishing trip. First fishing trip is going to be, our target species is going to be blue catfish. All right. I'm going to show you my setup. What I always use either this boat or my dad's boat for the same reasons. This one's a little bit smaller than my dad's. If I'm trying to get on a little bit rougher water, I can use my dad's, but I usually take this boat right here. I'm going to give y'all a tour, and then I'm going to let y'all see how I set everything up. So first thing first, we've got our boat here. This is my boat. I inherited it. It's just a solid aluminum riveted boat, Alumacraft. I believe it's a 83 model boat. As you can see, I've named it the USS Bo Watkins, which was my grandfather's nickname, named after him. And for my rod holders, I have 4 Driftmaster rod holders. They're actually the Pro Trollers. They're duo position. You got here and here. I use 4 of those. I've got your standard John boat 6-gallon tank. It's a 2-stroke, so you have to mix your oil with it, and then a battery with a battery box. If you look up front, I've got a Motor Guide 45-pound thrust trolling motor mounted to a board on the front. It's pretty simple foot control. You can see an old Humminbird 100SX depth finder over there that I use. It's pretty basic. And then this anchor, I mean, I don't even know who gave this to me, to be honest with you. I just kind of had it laying around. That's the one I use. It works just fine. Got it hooked to the Tacoma. It's just my pride and joy right here. And then on the back, this is where all the magic happens. Right here, we've got a 1976 Evinrude 25 horse, fresh out of the shop. It runs like a top tiller handle. And we're gonna take this sucker to the Tennessee River, Watts Bar Reservoir, and see if we can't pull a big old blue cat out of there. All right, so I'm gonna show y'all what I'm gonna be using today. So we're gonna go, like I said, over to Watts Bar, and we're gonna try to catch a blue catfish. And if you're an experienced angler, you probably know that blue catfish can get extremely big. So we've got some heavy duty rods here. Now, I'm using 2 bait casters and 2 spinners. I usually fish, depending on how many people are with me, I use 2 rods per person. I'm going with one other person today, my camera woman, Bambi. And so we're using 2 bait casters and 2 spinners. And I'll show each one of them. The 2 spinners are the exact same rod. They're both rigged up the exact same. All right, so I actually have an H2O Express here. It's a 500 series spinner with 30-pound test Power Pro braid on it. Okay, and so what we're going to be doing today is drifting. So I have all these rods set up for drifting, not trolling. All right, we'll bring it down here. Here I have what's called a slinky weight, 2-ounce slinky weight. It's shaped like this so that it can drag the bottom without getting wedged between rocks as easily. We'll use that while we're drifting. Below it, on my main line, which is my braid, I have a bead to keep it from fraying my knot. Then I put a clip on here so I can quickly interchange leaders. There I have a barrel swivel, and then 30-pound test Seagar fluorocarbon leader material as my leader. Right here on the leader you'll see this is called a Versa rattle. It's by Whisker Seekers. They're the ones who make it. And if you ever fish for catfish, whether it be small channel cats or large flatheads or blue cats, I always recommend one of these. It adds a little bit of sound and vibration to your bait, and it actually attracts them, because actually catfish don't always feed with scent. They also feed with sound and vibration. So we use that to our advantage. All right, medium heavy rod, a Shimano Sojourn. Bought it over here at our neighborhood bait shop called Big Fish Outfitters. Props to them. All right, so that's my rod and reel for the spinners. For the bait casters, I have two separate rods. Both of them are bait casters, and they're both rigged up the same way as the spinners, except on this one I just have 30-pound monofilament instead of 30-pound braid, because I really didn't feel like taking the time to put braid on this one. Y'all are gonna have to deal with that, sorry. And for bait, all right, I've got fresh caught shad. These are gizzard shad, and they're between 4 and 7 inches long, each one of them. I caught them about 2 days ago. I like to fish with fresh bait rather than if you were to keep it about 3 weeks or so. I like to keep mine fresh. So I caught this recently, and we're gonna do a flapper cut, which you'll see later. We're gonna drift it off the side of the boat. All right, for my hooks, you'll see here I'm using 2 types of hooks. So this one is an 8/0 octopus circle hook. It has an offset, and I snell all my hooks when I catfish, which I'll show you later. And then on the other ones, we have a Team Catfish hybrid circle hook. So it's designed so that you can either set the hook or let it set itself. I like both hooks. I use them about the same. The red, in my personal opinion, doesn't matter. To some people they prefer the red, but to me it's no big deal. And that's it. That's our setup. Right now we've got our battery charging. Got the battery going. We got our rod holder set up. All we have to do is load the boat and take it to the river. Come on, we'll go fishing. Hey Fletch, thanks for the help, man. Appreciate all you've done today. Boom! Boom! I killed your cousin! Anyways, we're gonna take care of those doves here in about 2.5 weeks. But we'll be to the river here in a little bit. We'll get our boat launched, and then we'll set out for Watts Bar, drift. We're probably gonna drift about 1/2 mile, and we're gonna see if we can't catch some blue catfish on some shad, gizzard shad. Stay tuned. So we're out here, we're on Watts Bar. Right now we're drifting, the current's pretty strong. Sorry, my depth finder doesn't say water temperature, but we're in 26 feet of water against a rock bluff. You want to go ahead and show them that. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to take my 2 smaller shad and hook them on my striper poles that I'm using as catfish poles, because we're likely to catch a striper here too. And I love catching big stripers just like I like catching big catfish. Some people know them as striped bass, or also here in my neck of the woods we call them rockfish. So these 2 are going to be on the striper poles since they're smaller, and then I cut 2 bigger ones in a kind of a flap cut so they have 2 sides, and then we're going to drift those as well on the larger bait casters. Once we get all of our hooks baited, we'll get back with you, see if we can't get a big old fish out of here. All right, so we've got our 4 rods baited. We've got them straight out off the boat, and our rod holder is in the shallow setting because I have 2 positions for my rod holders. What we're gonna do is we're gonna drop them directly underneath the boat. Once we see the thump on our reel, we're gonna reel it about once or twice, get it down there close to the bottom where the catfish like to be, and then we're just gonna let the current take us, try to keep my bait directly underneath me, and then we're gonna wait for the takedown. See if we can't get one of these rods to double over on a big fish. All right, folks, so we just fished this factory that puts corn gluten pellets on barges right here on the river. So we were trying to see if we couldn't catch a catfish off of maybe some of the bait fish that feed on those corn gluten pellets, but now we've struck out there. We've drifted for about an hour and a half or so. So right now we're crossing over the river, and we're gonna fish the outside bend of the river right here against these trees. Hopefully there's some brush in the water, possibly catch a flathead, hopefully a large blue. We'll see what happens and we'll get back to you. Hopefully we can get the skunk out of the boat. All right, so we've got our first fish of the day finally on the end of our hook. Nice blue cat coming up here. We're gonna see if we can't get him in the boat real fast. He's wrapped himself up big time in this line. First fish of the day, nice blue cat. We'll go ahead and get a weight on him and we'll get him released. Now see that? Looks like 7 pounds, 12 ounces, 11 ounces, something like that. Almost 8 pounds. We'll call him 8 pounds.
Name him Bob.
Tell me that's not a gorgeous animal. Squeaker. What'd you say, buddy? You want to go home? Let's let him go.
There you go.
All right, we've got a pretty good one on the end. And I think we might be doubled up over here. All right, guys, second fish of the day. Oh, he's pretty mad.
We've lost our pliers. There you go.
My camera woman, my girlfriend, Bambi, actually caught this one.
It's a beautiful sunset and all with the fish.
Get his hook out of his mouth. We'll get a weight on that bad boy. Let's see. All right. 5 pounds, 5 ounces looks like. About 5 pounds. We're gonna give him a release and let him go.
Nice.
All right, folks. In the midst of that, we got one of our rods tangled. We wound up having to break it off. So let's go ahead and rebait this one, get it back in the water, then we'll rebait our other one, retie on. Let's catch another one. Looks like a channel cat. Pretty good one too. I'm mad, that's for sure. Pull a little bit of drag. He is not happy about that. We're gonna let him get all that fire out of him first. Okay, you quit. I'll let you go. Let's get him over in here, get the grabbers on him.
Little itty bitty one.
Bother weighing him. He looks like he's about 4 pounds, I'd say. About a 4-pound channel cat, which is actually a pretty good size for a channel cat like that. Perfect eating size if you wanted to put him in the frying pan, but we'll spare this life today. We'll stick him back in the water. All right, let's give him a nice, gentle release. He goes. All right, we'll put the last of our bait. We've only got one more. We'll put it on, and then here in a few minutes we'll head to the house and talk about the day.
So we're done for the day.
Well, we finished our fishing trip and came out here to film our concluding scene, and
Oh, true.
come with me, I'll show you what happened.
Yeah.
Trailer decided they didn't want to take a nap right here on the rim. So we're waiting on my dad to come get out of here so we can change this and be done. But we caught 3 fish in total. Caught a 8-pound blue cat, a 5-pound blue cat, and then about a 4-pound channel cat. So successful fishing trip nonetheless. We'll get this tire changed and head home. Watch out for our upcoming videos. September 1st is going to be the opening day of dove season, and we are going to fold them up. So September 1st, I'll be coming out with a new video. Hopefully between now and then, I'll be going on a couple more fishing trips here in the summertime in East Tennessee. Y'all should join me. Anyways, hopefully you'll see me next time on Antlers and Anglers.